Hey everyone, it's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Vintage Cards, and wanted to make a video here before I got too far into the weekend. It's only Thursday night, but it's going to be a busy weekend for me, and then turn around with traveling on Wednesday to Cleveland for the National, and I'll be staying there for Thursday and Friday, and then I'll be heading back on Saturday, and I'll be preaching in Pittsburgh on Sunday. So it's going to be a pretty quick week for me, but really looking forward to the national show. I have a few things I want to find. Nothing too earth-shattering. Stuff I could probably find at almost any show, but I've had a hard time finding a 1962 Al Kaline card that looks really well. So I'm kind of looking for that. And I'm also looking for a 1972 Tom Seaver card that is well centered. All of the cards that I've been finding haven't been centered too well on the 72 set. And there's a few Eddie Mathews cards I'm going to look and see if I can find some things there that maybe like a home run derby card. There's a few other like a Hocus Focus card, which are pretty rare. But I'll see what I can find in the Eddie Mathews cards. And so I'm looking for Al Kaline, Tom Seaver, probably some Don Drysdale cards as well. And I'm just going to kind of look around and whatever grabs my eye, I'm going to be taking a hard look at it. But let me turn the camera around. Things I picked up here recently, this couple days, the mail call here. And one of them is this Eddie Mathews signature autograph card from the 1999 Upper Deck Century Legends. And it's a 1999 Upper Deck card and signed by Mathews, and shows him really as an Atlanta Braves manager. And on the back also just the same photo, but it says EMA, and it's got a congratulatory note on the back that this is a signed card by Eddie Mathews and sent back to Upper Deck. But happy to add that card to the collection. And as well as this one here, the 71 Tom Seaver. And I don't like the 71s in an SGC holder because I don't like the black on black look. But real happy to get this here, and it's a little bit off-centered left to right and top to bottom, but for me, as you can notice, the edge is pretty clean. There's not a lot of chipping on the edges, and for me, that's a big thing. I don't like the 71s with chipped edges, and they just jump out and stand out so clearly, but was happy to get that 71 in a PSA holder for Seaver, and then also another 71, this Top Super, which is kind of cool. And Seaver's got a real serious look on his face here in this one. But I do like the larger cards, and was happy to grab this on eBay for a pretty decent price. It has the same exact back, identical back as the 71. It's the same back as that's on the regular issue card. And so just card number 53. But was happy to grab these two 71s for the Seaver collection. And the other thing is I've been really enjoying going through this Eddie Mathews book. I'm in chapter 5 right now. Some fantastic stories of his early days. And I wanted to share just a couple of quick stories with you. Real interesting. Paul Warner, Hall of Famer from the Pirates. And he was in spring training with Eddie Mathews, and he volunteered to work with him. And Paul Warner had watched Eddie Mathews hit a bit, and he told Tommy Holmes, the manager of the Boston Braves, "We can't improve on that boy's swing. Just let him hit," and he never tried to change my swing. Although he did say that he helped me quite a bit with the way my feet were positioned. He said I was having a hard time seeing a high inside strike, and he opened up my stance a little bit, and it really helped with cutting down on strikeouts. And another story he had in here was about Patrick Duffy, who was their traveling secretary. Or I'm sorry, not Patrick, Duffy Lewis, who was their traveling secretary for the Braves. And Duffy was a great ball player, and he played for the Red Sox around the first time of the First World War. He was part of one of the greatest outfields of all time, with Tris Speaker and Harry Hooper when Babe Ruth was pitching for the Boston Braves. And it's interesting that this Duffy said, "I had a chance to become Speaking of Mathews, he said, Mathews had the chance to become one of the greatest all-time hitters, as good as Shoeless Joe Jackson and Babe Ruth. And Eddie Mathews said, not bad for somebody that hadn't even made it to the big leagues yet. And he could see something in Eddie Mathews. And he also had a story about getting his first, being on base for the very first time in the big leagues. The first game of the 1952 season, when he got walked by Preacher Rowe and he was on first base. And then Eddie Mathews said, I was on first base and then I was on second. Warren Spahn had struck out, and then Billy Reed, the leadoff hitter, he reached out and he punched a single to the opposite field. So Mathews said, I hit third base flying. My head down, I just clipped the inside corner of the bag. It was a good turn. My run was the lead run. He thought I was going to score the first run of the new season. Andy Pafko was in left field trying to cut me down at the plate. But I had good speed. I had 20-year-old legs, and Pafko had a 31-year-old arm. In full stride, I looked toward the plate for a sign. Do I score standing up, or do I score in a cloud of dust? And Mathews said what I saw was Roy Campanella reading the inscription on the baseball. He calmly put the tag on me. I was out by 20 feet. He said, okay, not such a great way to start your career. And just so interesting to read Mathews' memories of his early days. And that story just kind of struck out to me. He was going to score his first run, and he thought, I've got these young legs. I'm going to be able to score easily. And what do? Do I slide? Do I stand up? And he was out by 20 feet. And so that was the way Eddie Mathews started off his baseball career. And of course, he ended up in the Hall of Fame with 512 home runs. I consider Eddie Mathews to be the second best third baseman ever, behind one Michael Jack Schmidt, who I think is unquestionably the greatest third baseman ever in baseball. But Eddie Mathews, in my opinion, and I think the numbers bear it out, he is the second best third baseman ever in Major League Baseball. And when I get done reading this book, it's going to be kind of nice to be able to stack this right up with Warren Spahn, Henry Aaron, and then Eddie Mathews. And so just the three greatest players the Braves ever had, certainly while they were in Milwaukee, the cornerstone of just a great franchise, and really just enjoy collecting, obviously, Eddie Mathews, but Warren Spahn and Henry Aaron as well. But anyways, just wanted to make this quick video, and I'm really looking forward to the National. Again, it's going to be a busy weekend, a busy week, and just trying to catch my breath and get a few things taken care of. And as you can see, I've got a big stack of cards over here that I'm trying to work through. And they're all Hall of Famers from the 80s and 90s. And so there's always something going on in the hobby, it seems like. But everybody have a great weekend. Have a great week. And for those who are getting ready to go to Cleveland, I pray that you'll have safe travels, and it's really just going to be a good time. So enjoy the hobby, everyone. Take care.